You know that crumbly, salty, white cheese you love to put on, well, pretty much everything? That's feta. And you might think it's just a simple cheese, but trust me, it has a story that's as rich and tangy as its flavor. So, let's get into it.
And when I say it's got history, I am not kidding. This isn't some cheese that was cooked up a few decades ago. Nope, we're talking ancient Greece. Feta is so old, it's believed to have been around since the time of Homer, thousands and thousands of years ago. So, if this cheese is literally ancient, how in the world did it go from being a simple food for Greek shepherds to a global superstar? I mean, today, the feta cheese market is worth over $14 billion. That is one heck of a journey. Okay, first things first, we need to talk about what makes feta, well, feta. Because not every white, crumbly cheese you see in the store has actually earned the right to use that name. Think of it like having a VIP pass in the cheese world. So here's the secret sauce. Real feta is made from sheep's milk or a blend that's mostly sheep's milk with a little bit of goat's milk thrown in. That's what gives it that signature tangy, sharp flavor. If it's made from cow's milk, it might be tasty, but it's not the real deal. And this is that VIP pass I was talking about. Since 2002, feta has had a Protected Designation of Origin, or PDO status. And let me tell you, getting this was a huge deal for Greece. They fought for it for years. It means that to legally be called feta in the EU, the cheese has to be made in specific parts of Greece using old-school methods. It protects their culture and their economy from copycats. Okay, so we know it's delicious, we know it has this amazing history, but let's get to the question we all have when we're sprinkling it a little too generously over our lunch. Is it actually good for us? You know, we hear all the time about how healthy the Mediterranean diet is, and feta is a huge part of that. But what's the actual science say about this specific cheese? All right, here's the health report card for feta. On one hand, it's got some great stuff going for it. It's a solid source of protein, it's packed with calcium for strong bones, and it even has probiotics, the good bacteria for your gut. But, on the other hand, there are a couple of things you got to keep an eye on. It's got a lot of sodium and some saturated fat. Let's really talk about the salt for a second, because this is the big one. A single 1-ounce serving, that's about the size of a pair of dice, can pack 315 milligrams of sodium. That's almost 15% of all the salt you should have in an entire day. It all comes from the salty water, or brine, that the cheese is aged in. But hey, don't worry. There's a super simple trick to cut down on that salt. Before you eat it, just put the feta in a bowl of cold water and let it soak for about 15 minutes. This little trick can wash away a good amount of the salt without killing the flavor. It's an easy way to make your feta just a little bit healthier. I feel like a lot of people just think of feta as a salad topper. But that's like saying a guitar is only for playing one song. It is so much more versatile than that, as you're about to see. In Greek cooking, feta is an absolute rock star. You'll find it baked into incredible savory pies like spanakopita, which is a spinach pie, or tiropita, a cheese pie. You can whip it into this creamy, dreamy spread for bread. Oh, and one of my favorites, you can bake a whole block of it with cherry tomatoes and olive oil until it's all warm and gooey. Seriously, the possibilities are endless. Now, let's talk money. We know feta is popular, but the sheer scale of the feta business is pretty mind-blowing. This ancient cheese has become a modern economic powerhouse. Okay, get ready for this number. In 2024, the global market for feta cheese is valued at over $14.5 billion. That's billion, with a B. It just goes to show how much the entire world has fallen in love with this Greek classic. And it is not slowing down. The market is expected to just keep on growing, hitting a staggering $20 billion by 2029. And that growth is coming from things like Mediterranean food becoming more popular everywhere, and people just looking for tasty, protein-rich options. So where is all this feta being eaten? Well, no surprise, Europe is the biggest market. I mean, it is its home turf after all. But get this, the fastest growing market is actually the Asia-Pacific region. That just proves that feta's appeal is truly going global. So, what does the future hold for a cheese that's been around for thousands of years? Well, even ancient foods have to keep up with modern tastes and trends. And we're seeing some really cool innovations. There's a huge rise in plant-based vegan feta alternatives. Companies are also getting creative with new flavored versions, like imagine feta with chili or herbs already mixed right in. And you're seeing more convenient stuff, like pre-made whipped feta, showing up in stores. So that leaves us with one final big question. As all these new plant-based versions get better and more popular, what does that mean for the original, PDO-protected Greek cheese. Can an ancient tradition hold its own against modern innovation? It's definitely something to think about the next time you crumble some feta on your plate.